Welcome back to the conversation. It is Adrienne Lawrence, and I just want to give you a warning before we continue with this that we are going to be talking about issues concerning suicide. So just giving a trigger warning there in the event that this is a sensitive subject for you. And right now I have joining me an activist for single payer universal healthcare. That's Scott Desnoyers. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Thank you for having me on. This is a subject that's very close and personal to me, so I can't thank you enough, and thank you.
Yeah, so as I understand, you lost your son Danny by suicide in 2019 over a missed payment of $20. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, what happened is Danny had a couple of problems going on, and he'd come to move in with me back in February 2019. A few weeks after he moved in with me, he came home and he's like, "Pops, I went to get my medicine refill today and found out my insurance has been canceled." I was like, "Okay, Danny, not a big deal. How much is it?" And he told us it was $250, which is a big deal because we didn't have $250 then, we don't have it today, And I was like, "Okay, Danny, well, you have an appointment with your therapist in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure she can help you out. In the meantime, you need to get a hold of Fidelis Care and find out what's going on." Well, he didn't call right away, which was probably his lethal mistake. He called like April 1st or April 2nd. And when he did, that's when he found out he missed his $20 premium to his ACA's managed Medicaid plan. Medicaid. So he pulled out his wallet and he paid the $20 on the phone. The medication he was on was risperidone. And they told him that his plan would be reinstated on the next billing cycle of May 1st. He'd already been without his medication at this point for 2 weeks. On April 9th of 2019, I see a suicide post on Facebook just 23 seconds after he posted it. And he says, "I just want everyone to know that I love them. I'm saying goodbye. This world wasn't meant for me. Maybe the next life will be better. I super glued my seatbelt, double checked. I don't have the strength to open it. And I choose death by drowning because I can't get above this pain. I'm sorry for hurting those who care. This is selfish, I'm sure. But I've been staring at the water for hours now, and I've made my decision. Daniel and Hazel, his children, I'm so effing sorry." He drove his truck into the Mohawk River over a late $20 payment to his Medicaid plan. And I see Joe Biden this morning tweeting out healthcare is a human right as he sells us contracts like this that will deny us healthcare when we need it the most for money. It ain't right.
No, it's not. It's not right. And I know Medicaid, the Medicaid insurance provider, Fidelis Care, did they say anything in the aftermath?
Actually, yeah, Now This had produced a video for us, and as well as Status Quo had reached out to them, as well as Times Union, and every single one of their responses was as to how important it is that we make our premiums, that they work extremely hard with patients who have a hard time making their premiums. In other words, give us your money. That's their only response 3 times now.
Wow. Now, go ahead.
I might add that the founder and the previous CEO of Fidelis Care is a father, Patrick For-All, an ordained priest of the Brooklyn Catholic Diocese. Now, the Catholic Church used to have a teaching called the unforgivable sin, where if someone takes their own life, they're condemned to purgatory for eternity and can never get into the gates of heaven. Father Patrick For-All's church taught that. And he denies mental health patients every single day medications with known risks of suicide because they don't make their premiums, because they don't pay him money. A priest. If the hypocrisy can't be more disgusting than this, I mean, I don't know how more we can express how broken this healthcare system is when 1 out of 3 COVID deaths could have been avoided with a single payer healthcare system. And instead of doing that, they sell us more contracts. They want us to cover COBRA payments, which isn't a better contract, it's just a more expensive one. So that's what we do. We give the insurance companies that are denying us health care more money. The services that were offered were far less during COVID, but you had to pay for COBRA because you lost your job for this worst contract? So we give money from the government, gives them more to cover more. Wow. What more do we need to do to explain how broken this healthcare system is when our children are at risk of dying over $20?
This is why we need Medicare-For-All.
It is 100% why we need Medicare-For-All. When we pay twice as much as the next nationalized country for our health care and die 10 years sooner, we have a 10 years shorter life expectancy than the next country for twice the cost. Again, the numbers are there. It's insane. And I don't know if you had heard, but I do have an event coming on April 9th of this year. It'll be 3 years after we lost Danny, where I am going in front of Fidelis Care with, I'm hoping for at least 100 people. And there's also right now 7 solidarity events coordinating with me across the country because of the church's stance on the unforgivable sin. That is the title of this event. It's the unforgivable sin of legalized manslaughter for profit. And what we're doing is we are going outside of Fidelis Care and we're demanding that Father Patrick Frawley step down as now VP of Centene. Oh, I forgot to mention, Frawley sold Fidelis Care to Centene in 2018 with the expansion of the managed Medicaid program for $3.8 billion, retaining at that point the salary of $4.9 million a year for denying Medicaid patients the health care that they need to live. But now, after the sale, he was promoted to VP of Centene, and get this title, Social Responsibilities of Centene. Ryan Knight said it best when he said, Jesus Christ. I'm like, that's right, Ryan. They're selling the poorest people among us on Medicaid, Jesus Christ, instead of healthcare, pretending that what they're going to offer is something that is protected by God. So our demand is that Father Frawley step down from this luxurious position of VP of Centene with now $5.9 million a year salary and join us in our fight for single payer universal health care, just like did Wendell Potter, the former executive from Cigna, who stepped down after he saw the life of a 17-year-old little girl get snuffed out because they wouldn't accept her claim for her payment, which was within her contract rights.
Mm-hmm. Now, this event that you're having in front of Fidelis Care, what city will that be in?
That will be in Amherst, New York at 480 Cross Point Parkway. Not only are we demanding that Father Frawley step down and join us, but I'm demanding that he advocate to have Medicare-For-All replace his employer Cigna or Centene, and that he also advocate until that point can be reached that we fight to get the New York Health Act to replace his founding corporation, Fidelis Care. Or Father Frawley can admit that no man of God would ever benefit from denying the poorest among us on Medicaid and watching them struggle and die and renounce his title of priest.
And have you had any support from anyone in government at all, whether at the state level or the federal level, in terms of your push?
At the state level, there are plenty of representatives, senators, and assemblymen that support the New York Health Act that have supported my action. On the federal level, there was, during the beginning, there was a lot of people talking about it. Bernie Sanders had amplified my son's story, as well as did Representative J.O. Powell and Ilhan Omar. The one that actually surprised us was Kamala Harris, then senator. The only problem with that was Kamala Harris used Danny's story as a commercial for the ones who murdered him. 3 weeks after sharing his story, and I might add, she used a parody that Americans are drowning and dead.
Oh my God.
And then, if you remember right, on that debate stage 3 weeks later, the Medicare-For-All plan that she released was for corporations like Centene to sell us Medicare. Medicare for all those who want it, right? Or something like that. So where would Danny be if he missed his $20 premium to Kamala Harris's bill? It was straight up a chance to use Danny's story to promote his murderers. Which is why I believe the state level push at this point is more important than ever. Because as I said, I don't believe we have a valid path forward with the amount of energy we have at the national level, because we're not going to get Speaker Pelosi to call for a vote. And if she did, Joe Biden had already promised that if it hits his desk, he's going to veto it. And with people like Kamala Harris and his administration doing the thing that she did with Danny's story, we know where this administration stands on this. They're selling us contracts that deny us health care when we need it the most for profits.
They are.
They're selling our children's lives. They're selling our lives.
And so for the people who want to support you and want to be there in Amherst, can you please tell us again the date and the location and the time on when you are going to confront Fidelis Care?
It will be April 9th, which again is the 3rd anniversary of Danny's death, at 480 Cross Point Parkway in Amherst, New York at 2 p.m. I have an Action Network link. If you go to Action Network organization and type in The Unforgivable Sin, you can find it that way. I also have a very small fundraiser to try to get the speakers gas fare and hotels. If you can go to GoFundMe and also The Unforgivable Sin. I will stop it when I reach what I need. So anybody that can help, we truly appreciate it. Again, also 7 solidarity events: Tacoma, Washington, Sacramento, California, Fayetteville, Arkansas. New York City has a DSA bike rally going on in support of the New York Health Act. Albany, New York has one. There is a candlelight vigil also going on in Florida. And I'm pretty sure I hit them all. Right. For everybody that's been helping, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I am so incredibly sorry for your loss, but it's a loss for us all, most certainly, especially if we don't fight for Medicare-For-All. So thank you so much for all of your work. Once again, this is Scott Desnoyers, activist for single-payer universal healthcare. Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.